Powershift, an analysis of the transition to a knowledge-based global order. Summary. Introduction. The dawn of the Powershift era. The global order is undergoing a fundamental historical shift, referred to as the power shift, which is as profound as the agricultural and industrial revolutions. Traditional power analysis focused on force and wealth is now dangerously obsolete. This analysis, building on the works of Alvin Toffler, posits that the central, decisive role in geopolitics is now being claimed by knowledge. The process involves the replacement of the centuries-old smokestack civilization with a new global order defined by power struggles over this new resource. The engine of global change, a revolutionary system of wealth creation. The core thesis is that a revolutionary new system of wealth creation is the primary driver of this global change. This system is fueled not by raw materials or physical labor, but by data, information, and knowledge, which are systematically undermining every established pillar of the old power structure. The rise of this new system is triggering intense conflicts that are fundamentally reshaping business, politics, and international relations, thereby rewriting the established rules of power and presenting both risks and unprecedented opportunities. The Power Triad, a new framework for social power analysis. To strategically navigate these shifts, the analysis introduces the Power Triad: violence, force, wealth, money, and knowledge, mind, as the ultimate sources of social power. Violence is the low-quality source, rigid and increasingly monopolized by the state, sublimated into law. Wealth is the mid-quality and more flexible instrument that became the dominant tool of social control during the industrial era, as societies became dependent on the money system for survival. Knowledge, the highest quality and most democratic source. Knowledge is identified as the highest quality and most democratic source of power. It is the ultimate amplifier, capable of multiplying the effectiveness of both force and wealth, and critically, it is inexhaustible, not consumed when used. Unlike force and wealth, which are inherently limited to the strong and the rich, knowledge is accessible to the weak and the poor, posing a continuous asymmetric challenge to established hierarchies. The historic power shift is the realignment, where knowledge transitions from being an adjunct to becoming the essence of force and wealth. The economic revolution, characteristics of the super-symbolic economy. The power shift is driven by the ascendancy of the super-symbolic economy over the smokestack economy. This new system is characterized by 12 interrelated features centered around the constant exchange of symbols, data/information. Key characteristics include demassified production, moving from mass to customized output, dematerialized work, symbol manipulation replacing muscle work, and the use of informational money, electronic data replacing physical currency, making capital highly fluid. The accelerative imperative, knowledge as the ultimate substitute. A central law of this new system is the principle that knowledge is the ultimate substitute, systematically replacing other factors of production, raw materials, labor, and capital, by improving efficiency, e.g., using smart software to reduce waste. This leads to the accelerative imperative. As the pace of economic activity speeds up, time itself becomes more valuable. This creates a new global divide between fast economies, integrated into the super-symbolic system, and slow economies, constrained by industrial/agrarian principles and bureaucracy, which are increasingly being isolated from the dynamic global network. Transformation of the business landscape and the face of capital. The super-symbolic economy is causing unprecedented corporate upheaval. The nature of financial power has shifted, exemplified by the contrast between J.P. Morgan, who concentrated capital to restrict access, and Michael Milken, who widened access and financed advanced flexible sectors. This shift is defined by the principle that the parts are often worth more than the unwieldy whole, deconstruction, in the new era, replacing the old principle of consolidation. The new corporate conflict, InfoWars and standards battles. As knowledge gains primacy over wealth in the corporate triad, new infowars have erupted over its control. A classic example is the supermarket battlefield, where scanners, universal product code, transferred real-time sales data and power from giant manufacturers to retailers. Furthermore, control over technical specifications, known as la guerre des normes, the war over standards, for technologies like HDTV or computer operating systems, has become a source of immense economic and competitive power, shaping entire industries. The rise of the flex firm and the post-bureaucratic organization. The traditional, rigid, and hierarchical bureaucratic model is too slow and ill-suited for a high-speed, knowledge-driven economy. In its place, a variety of more flexible and adaptive forms, collectively known as the flex firm, are emerging. These alternative structures, such as the pulsating organization, expanding and contracting rhythmically, and the resurgent family firm, relying on informal, trust-based information systems, are designed to maximize speed, flexibility, and the efficient flow of knowledge. The reshaping of politics, the end of mass democracy, the demassifying forces fracturing the economy are also shattering the political landscape. The age of mass democracy, based on large, stable coalitions, is giving way to a more volatile mosaic democracy. Old political coalitions, centered on the left vs right axis, are disintegrating. Politics is now increasingly organized around new fault lines that cross party affiliations, including conflicts between localists and globalists, ecological concerns, and rising ethnic/regional identities. Infopolitics and the subversive role of global media. In this fragmented environment, the tactical manipulation of information, or infopolitics, has become central. This includes standard info tactics, e.g., the guided leak, the secrecy tactic, and more profound meta-tactics, which aim to control the very structure of knowledge by shaping data collection, statistical indicators, and the embedded assumptions in government computer models. Meanwhile, the new global media system acts as a Powershift accelerator, with its fused networks of satellites and digital channels subverting the state's traditional monopoly over information. Strategic implications. Knowledge as the ultimate resource. The transition of power to knowledge is the single most important strategic reality of our time. The strategic imperatives are clear. Control over knowledge is now the decisive factor in corporate and national power, making raw materials and capital secondary. Institutions built for the smokestack era are dangerously obsolete and must be fundamentally restructured around flexibility and knowledge flow. The primary conflicts of the 21st century will be infowars, fought over the control of communication channels and the structure of knowledge itself. The ultimate weapon and resource is now the human mind.